Okay, so I see a few more people joined on, and I feel like it's 3:03. So in the interest of not wasting anyone else's time that joined, I'm going to get started. Again, I thank you for attending our live online webinar. I am going to go over how our warehouse on wheels system is the best way to make deliveries for retail locations that are over 120 miles away from a distribution or a warehouse. A very common alternative to using our system is sending non-CDL delivery trucks and drivers on long drives to and from that remote market. But when you actually have a physical retail location that is over 120 miles away from a warehouse or distribution center, and you're making a certain volume worth of deliveries, our warehouse on wheels system is undoubtedly a better and more cost-efficient way to make deliveries daily in that market. And I'm very excited to show you exactly why that is. But before I get started, I obviously want to go over our company's core values. They're very important to us because every single customer that we have, that we gain as a customer, we want to make a success story. So our core values are not only something that we portray internally as a company, but we also portray them to our customers because we really view partnerships with our customers as a team effort. And we've had so many success stories where both us and our customers have grown together because of the value that our system has offered our customers as a competitive advantage. That our core values aligning with prospects and customers is very, very important to us. Another important part of the warehouse on wheels system to us is the sustainability aspect of the system. Obviously, sustainability is a keyword, quote unquote, right now, but as you'll see throughout our presentation, our warehouse on wheels system allows your company to create a more sustainable, cost-effective, and efficient final mile delivery system that allows you to use fewer trucks, fewer gas and emissions, and make more deliveries with final mile straight truck. So I'm really excited to show you exactly why we can save you money, but also make you a more sustainable company at the same time. So I'm going to go through and show you exactly how the warehouse on wheels system works. And like I mentioned, the purpose of this specific webinar is if you are currently making deliveries to a retail location that is over 120 miles away from the warehouse or distribution center that you're servicing the deliveries from, and you're currently sending your trucks and drivers on drives to and from that market, I truly believe, and the statistics and our customers have shown, that our warehouse on wheels system is a more cost-effective and efficient way of making deliveries to those retail locations. So I'm going to start by explaining exactly how the warehouse on wheels system works. So it's important to note that the bodies you see on your screen are 26-foot bodies. Now, you can use 3 17-foot bodies or 4 12-foot bodies with our system, but for furniture purposes, 99% of our customers are using 2 26-foot bodies. And it's also very important to notice that our truck bodies are specifically built to have a front and a rear door, which means that you can load 2 26-foot bodies through one dock door, exactly like you would a 53-foot trailer, only the trucks and bodies are going to be loaded in route order so that the product is not touched from when it's loaded at the distribution center until it's being unloaded at the customer's site for a final mile delivery. So customers in a distribution center, and for all intents and purposes, let's use Dallas, Texas as an example, because Texas is a really great value market for our equipment. So customers will load 2 26-foot truck bodies through one dock door in Dallas, Texas, at a distribution center. They will then line haul them to another major city throughout the state of Texas. Houston, San Antonio, Austin, whatever the major market is, they are bringing these however many truck bodies to this other major market. And these bodies are loaded in route order, and the furniture is prepped for final mile delivery so that when it's being unloaded, it's ready to be delivered. And it's in about a half hour, the two 26-foot truck bodies are unloaded, and empty bodies from the day before are picked up and brought back to the distribution center. Now, I say empty bodies, but in the furniture industry, we all know that there are not at homes, there are returns, there's trash that has to be brought back on these bodies to the distribution center. So in the 53-foot trailer carrying the two quote-unquote empty bodies returns back to the distribution center, it returns to the inbound part of the distribution center so that the bodies can be emptied before brought to the outbound part of the distribution center to start the process over again. Once the two fully loaded 26-foot truck bodies, and we have customers that drop many bodies in certain markets depending on the volume of the remote market that you're dropping these bodies in, are dropped in the middle of the night. And another point that I didn't make, but it's important to note, is that the line haul is done in the middle of the night, usually between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m., meaning that these fully loaded truck bodies are loaded and ready to be delivered when the delivery drivers are supposed to start their shifts. And because the line haul is done in the middle of the night, you're having the most efficient line haul possible because you're avoiding all traffic on the road. So at 7, 8, 9 a.m., the delivery drivers show up, they hop in their final mile straight trucks, they take 5 minutes to pick up a fully loaded body, and they make their full day's worth of deliveries. They are starting in the heart of the delivery market for their deliveries. At the end of the day, they have a quote unquote, again, empty body that has the returns, not at homes, cardboard, trash, things like that. We train the drivers to drop the bodies off in a way that allows the trailers to pick them up 2 at a time, and the delivery driver's day is over. So the delivery drivers do not load their own trucks. They simply take 5 minutes to pick up the truck in the beginning of the day, and they take 5 minutes at the end of the day to drop off the truck. Besides that, the delivery driver and the delivery truck are making a full day's worth of deliveries. Now, obviously, because of the nature of this call, hopefully you are making some sort of a long drive over 120 miles away to an existing retail location that you are sending trucks to and from without having a warehouse in that remote market. Well, our warehouse on wheels system is going to eliminate a lot of these problems for you. You'll see on your screen here a lot of the problems that they solve. I'll go into a little bit more detail. The delivery drivers are going to start and end their day in the heart of their delivery market, meaning they are not going to need to make 2 or 3 hours of a drive to start and end their days before they're able to start their days. That means instead of making 7 to 8 deliveries per day, you're now able to make 15 to 16 deliveries per day. Also, because the delivery drivers are starting in the heart of the delivery market and the line haul is taking place in the middle of the night, a lot of traffic in certain metro areas can be strategically avoided by utilizing the warehouse on wheels system with off-hour shuttles, which means your driver productivity for the final mile delivery driver is greatly going to increase. And because you're able to make more deliveries per day, your lead time for these deliveries is going to shorten, which means your customer service is greatly going to improve. The final benefit that customers of ours find from using the warehouse on wheels system instead of using long drives is that now you're able to pull non-CDL, and that is a huge selling point, non-CDL delivery drivers from multiple markets, meaning you're not hiring all your drivers from the same markets. That means your driver pool is expanded exponentially, especially at a time right now where going into people's homes is something where people do not want to do. Being able to increase your driver market for potential hirees is a huge benefit that our current customers are finding from using our system. So because you're maybe using long drives currently in your delivery operation, I want to talk about the return on investment that our warehouse on wheels system is going to offer you in lieu of sending these delivery trucks and drivers on these long drives to and from the remote market. The first part is that from my experience, and I specialize in selling furniture and the warehouse on wheels system specifically to the furniture industry, is that I find that most delivery trucks for furniture trucks have two drivers in them. It's a driver and a helper. So when you're sending two trucks out to remote market, you're actually paying 4 employees for that dead windshield time, versus our warehouse on wheels system, which allows you to send 1 CDL line haul driver to bring that product out to the remote market. So 1 CDL driver is a lot cheaper than 4 non-CDL delivery drivers for furniture. The second reduction in cost is that the cost of gas for sending 1 tractor, whether it's 120 up to 300 miles away to and from the market, is a lot cheaper than sending 2 straight trucks. Sure, tractors get a little bit less miles per gallon, but the amount of miles per gallon that the tractors get less is not worth the amount of cost it is for sending 2 trucks out over 120 miles before they start making their first delivery and after they make their last delivery. Another huge selling point for our warehouse on wheels system for making long drives is that when you're sending your delivery drivers on trucks on drives of 2 to 3 hours to start and end their days, they only have 11 to 13 hours to make these deliveries in the day. So we've had customers who have been able to go from making 6 to 8 deliveries per day in a remote market to now making 15 to 16 deliveries per day in this remote market because they're utilizing our warehouse on wheels system. And finally, I had mentioned this before, but the line haul where the CDL driver and Class A tractor brings the 2 26-foot truck bodies out to the remote market is done in off-peak hours during the middle of the night. So you are creating the most efficient line haul possible, which saves you money in congestion and gas and traffic and all those things that other companies run into when they send trucks out at 7 in the morning out from metro areas where they're sitting in highways for hours before they're able to make their first deliveries. And I have tons and tons of success stories of companies who have been making long drives and felt the pain point of the cost of what those long drives were costing them, and were able to switch over to our warehouse on wheels system and save money in the long run. And honestly, it would be too long of a presentation to name all of them. So a few that I'm not gonna go fully in depth of, but that are currently using our warehouse on wheels system in lieu of long drives are Furniture Land South out of North Carolina, which has a 1 million square foot retail location and was making long drives all over the country, and is now using our warehouse on wheels system successfully to save numerous costs throughout their supply chain. Another few success stories are Furniture Fair out in Fairfield, Ohio, which was able to open up their Louisville, Kentucky market, utilizing the Fairfield distribution center where they had no other options, and they saw the opportunity to open up a new market, and our warehouse on wheels system was the best option for them to do that. And the same thing for a company called Lax Valley Stores in the Valley, which is down in South Texas, which is based in Pharr, Texas, which was able to open up the Corpus Christi market utilizing our warehouse on wheels system. Aside from those success stories, I have a few other more in-depth success stories I wanted to show exactly how companies have switched from using long drives with delivery trucks and drivers to our warehouse on wheels system to save enormous amounts of money. So one is Matter Brothers, and they're based out in Fort Myers, Florida. And they actually opened up the Tampa, Florida market, which is about 2.5 hours away, from the Fort Myers distribution center to make the deliveries. And through our warehouse on wheels system, they were able to go from making 8 deliveries a day to averaging 12 to 14 stops per day. So the amount of revenue they were able to make for their delivery drivers was huge. And because their delivery drivers were starting and ending their day in the Tampa market versus the Fort Myers market, they were able to be exempt from DOT regulations because their drivers, the delivery drivers, started and ended their day in less than 150-mile radius from when they were making their deliveries. So Matter Brothers and opening up the Tampa Bay market has been a huge success story for us over the last couple of years. A more recent success story for us is an Ashley Furniture franchisee, and I'm not sure how many of you on this call are familiar with this, but Ashley franchises, or Ashley stores, I mean, are franchised across the country. Some might be corporate owned, but a lot are franchise owned, where they specifically specialize in making deliveries for Ashley home stores in different parts of the country. So there's a company, JP&A Holdings, which was based in Texarkana, Arkansas, which was making deliveries in Sherman and Paris, Texas, which was about 2 and 2.5 hours away from their distribution center. And they were sending their drivers on long drives to and from those markets, and they found that they weren't able to service their customers in those markets effectively enough to provide the quote-unquote Ashley experience. And obviously everyone knows that Ashley is one of the highest and most recognized furniture names in the game. So they decided to use our warehouse on wheels system to have the delivery drivers start and end their day in the remote markets in Paris and Sherman, Texas, starting in Texarkana, Arkansas, which allows their drivers to provide their customers with the best customer service possible. It also allows them to have the ability for unlimited expansion up to 300 miles in any direction from their current distribution center in Texarkana, Arkansas. And that empty line haul of delivery drivers were experiencing at the end of the day, they're no longer experiencing, because the delivery drivers start and end their day in the remote market where they're making these deliveries. I have tons of more success stories I could go on with you, but in lieu of time, I want to show you the equipment that we manufacture that allows this system to take place. So first is the equipment for the final mile truck chassis. So we make a hydraulic chassis lift, which gets installed on the final mile truck chassis that allows the truck to pick up and drop off a 26-foot truck box in about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes to pick up a box, 5 minutes to drop off a box. You can use any type of chassis you'd like, Freightliner, International, Hino. You can lease the chassis, you can own the chassis. Everything about the chassis stays the same. We're just installing this 26-foot hydraulic lift system on the truck, which allows the truck to work with any body in your fleet. Another common question we get is whether you can use walk ramps or lift gates, and the answer is yes to both. You can use any option you're currently using with your current delivery trucks with our warehouse on wheels system. Another popular option is a 3-rung pull-out easy step, which gives the delivery drivers a quick and easy way to step into the body and pull out the furniture from the back of the truck to quickly make those deliveries, because obviously the delivery drivers want to make as many deliveries per day as they can per day and get done as quickly as they can. So the next thing you'll see on your screen is the piece of equipment that we make for the demountable body. So we do not make the entire body itself. We just make what we call a demountable body base frame, which is what you see on your screen. It is everything under the floor of the body. We work with all major body manufacturers in the United States. We work with you and the body manufacturer to spec the body for what's right for your operation. We send this frame to their manufacturing facility. They lay down their floor and they build up the body exactly to your specifications, only the body is now going to have a front and a rear door so that you can load 2 bodies through 1 dock door. The final piece of equipment that we make is the warehouse on wheels semi-trailer. This is the trailer that carries 2 26-foot truck bodies at once. We do manufacture this trailer and provide this to you ourselves. It works with any Class A tractor in the field today. It hooks up via a normal 5th wheel, and the trailer is designed, again, to carry 2 26-foot truck bodies. We do make a trailer that can carry 3 17-foot truck bodies or 4 12-foot truck bodies, but due to the nature of furniture, 2 26-foot truck bodies is obviously the most common spec that we quote out. And finally, the most important part, and something that we take very seriously, is the driver training part of our system. So when you move forward with using our demountable warehouse on wheels system, for every new market you purchase warehouse on wheels system equipment for, we send out in-person driver trainers to not only train your delivery staff, but also your supervisor staff on how to bring on new drivers so that you can safely and successfully implement the warehouse on wheels system to the best of your abilities. We provide online training videos, operation manuals, and tests that every new driver has to pass in order to start using our equipment. And we also have info sessions for the maintenance personnel in case you're leasing the equipment or you handle maintenance in-house. That way you're able to keep your equipment on the road as much as possible. We have designed our equipment over the last 30 years to be equipment that always allows you to make deliveries on time and with top-notch customer satisfaction. And over 30% of the top 100 furniture companies by the Furniture Today magazine are currently using our demountable truck equipment in their fleet. And that is a number we're very proud of, because it goes to show that very national brands have put the trust in us to allow our equipment to service their customers to deliver this furniture. So with that being said, my contact info is on the board. I want to make sure you take down my email. If you are making any deliveries and sending trucks over 120 miles away, please know that it's something that our warehouse on wheels system can definitely save you money on over the long term. So feel free to reach out to me at any time via phone or email, and I'd be happy to help you out in figuring out, what the best solution is for your company specifically. And with that being said, I'm going to open up to some questions, and we can go from there. And if you do have any questions, please reach out. That is the end of the presentation, so please take down my contact information, and my colleague Jerry is also on the presentation as well to both handle questions in case there are more than just I can handle. One question I do often get is whether the lift system can be moved from one truck to another, and the answer to that is yes. Whether you lease or own your trucks, please know that you can move the system over from one truck to another, so that hydraulic lift system that goes on the truck chassis can be moved. So if you lease your truck equipment, you can take that equipment, and after the 7-year lease is over, you can take it off that truck lease and put it onto another truck lease to better value the life of the truck equipment. So I think I'm having some technical difficulties, but if you do, I think I have my contact information up. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me via email. I appreciate you all taking the time to listen to this presentation. I really do believe, and it's been proven, that our warehouse on wheels system is a much better alternative to making deliveries for sending these delivery trucks on drives over 120 miles away. So if there's anything that we can do to help you budget our system versus your current operation, please reach out to me directly, and I'd be more than happy to help you do that and go from there. So I do see a question about the lead time to receive a wow trailer. We always keep the trailers in stock further than a truck. So the point is to always have a trailer be available in less time than a truck is available. So average lead time is about 2 to 3 months. I always tend to keep a couple trailers in stock. So unless we're talking about a huge order, the lead time would be about the lead time of whatever the truck chassis is. The longest part of the warehouse on wheels system build process is usually building the truck chassis itself. And our lead time, it takes us about 4 weeks to put our hydraulic system and deliver the truck chassis for the final mile truck after it's delivered to us. So usually we can always build the bodies and trailers before that truck part is due. So the truck part is usually the longest part of the lead time process. That's a good question. But again, I appreciate everyone's time. I'm gonna put in the chat, I'm not sure if it came through at the end. So in the interest of time, I'm gonna put my email and my cell phone number in the chat section of the webinar. So if you do have any questions that I wasn't able to answer for you, I do see a decent number of people on here. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties at the end here. 2020 has been quite the year, but I want to make sure that I am able to answer anything that anyone has in terms of questions about successfully utilizing our system, because now more than ever, being able to utilize the best equipment possible to create the most ROI could be that competitive advantage you have over your competitors. So I really appreciate you listening to more about our warehouse on wheels system, and hopefully I'm able to talk to you all more soon. So with that, I wish you all a great night, and we'll talk to you later.